It is time for the disclaimer, and we got something for you. The tea in the streets.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
So the tea in the streets for today is, I don't know if you guys are on TikTok, but this story,
We're not. Do you know our age?
You never
I'm
know.
sorry.
I don't discriminate, Miss Carter.
Okay,
Everyone's on
I
TikTok.
don't make assumptions. I don't do any of that.
I was talking about me.
You're on
Okay.
TikTok?
I'm on TikTok.
You are. You follow me.
Oh. See, I don't even know.
This story, though, has gone beyond TikTok. Everyone is talking about it.
Mhm.
So I'll play you guys a video that kind of introduces it. We'll play that right now, and then I'll kind of give a little bit more information.
All right.
Who the did I marry?
Risa Tisa from Georgia has gone viral after she outed her ex-husband as a pathological liar and master manipulator in a 50-part TikTok series. The nearly 8-hour-long saga broke down every step of Risa's explosive relationship with ex-husband's Legion, detailing the lies he told to con her into a relationship. Risa says he gave false promises of hidden wealth, offering to buy her lavish gifts, including paying for her rent and bills, but would fake phone calls with financial advisors and find excuses not to pay. He even said he was working as the vice president of a condiment company. She discovered he was in fact unemployed and cheating with his ex-wife. Her suspicions came to a head when she was asked to provide her spouse's social security number for a new job, only to discover he had lied about where he lived, where he went to school, and said she was forced to run a background check on him. Her ex-husband has now hit back at her claims, telling her to stop lying.
The real reason I left you, you cheated. I caught you in the house with Bradley.
Regardless of whose side you're on, the dramatic saga has left online users second-guessing their own partner's credibility.
Bam! I need social security numbers, offshore accounts. Do you have offshore accounts?
Yes. So I'll give a little bit more context because, like the video says, it is a 50-part series, and TikTok, you can have up to 10-minute videos.
Mm.
So I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the whole thing. I
Right.
watched summaries of it because it is that long.
Mhm.
But she goes into depth about these crazy lies that her husband was telling her. You guys can look up. Her name is Risa Tisa, Reesateesa.
Mhm.
If you want to look it up, you can also look up summaries of the story. If you just type in "Who TF did I marry,"
Mhm.
everyone's talking about it,
Mhm.
and it is insane.
Oh God.
It's so insane.
Well, before I jump on it, I'm gonna turn this over to Dr. Bork. I'm gonna
Oh,
come.
man. Right after the
Yeah.
Mary thing.
Yes, I'm gonna turn this over. I'm gonna throw this at you, and then I'll roll it back over here to me, and then it's gonna go to Val. Then it'll come to me. Okay, what's your thought on that?
Oh man, that first of all,
Because we're married women.
yes.
Okay, so
I mean, I don't think it would, make me question anything. But
Mhm.
I haven't actually seen it, but it sounds absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I can only imagine having to go through that and then explain it and then turn around and have him say something
Yes.
that's exactly the opposite.
opposite, yes,
You
and
know,
then
it's like gaslighting me on top of the fact that this happened.
yes. Oh, I know, right?
It's awful.
Okay, and
Yeah.
Dr. Val, what's your thought?
Well, I think I'm going to go revisit it and see kind of more so I can comment on it.
Okay,
But just seeing
The surface.
the surface of it, one thing that I have vowed not to do is put my laundry on in the public.
yes.
So
Well, I think when I think about it, I see them both at fault. And I'm going to say my perspective on it is when you're committing to something first, or when you're in a relationship, let's start with God. Was God even in this relationship at any point? And then second of all, did you do your due diligence? Because I do believe that we get signs, or there are definitely, and there are some very conniving people out there. But I do think that we get some red flags along the way. And but like you said, Dr. Bork, the flip side of that is to have had to allegedly live through that
Mhm.
and then have the partner turn around and gaslight you.
Mhm.
You're already ashamed.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. You're already ashamed. You already are just feeling probably the lowest of the low. And then to have to constantly relive it. But I think it comes back to you're reliving it because you're putting it on social media. Let your relationship be private. How did they meet?
So they met on
A dating
on a
app?
dating site.
Mhm.
And well, and I get what you guys are saying about like not putting all your business out there. I think the newer generation of TikTok and stuff like that, it is very, especially because I think in a way she was trying to put it out as like a warning sign. Like, don't believe everything you hear. Don't believe every person that you think you trust. And it's very popular right now to tell these story times and tell these
But I
tales.
think they're trying to go. I think, again, I know that, and I'm not, come on, don't come from a younger generation. I think the problem is everything doesn't need to be shared
That is true.
across those platforms because, again, where are you going to allow yourself to heal? Once it's out there, it's out there.
And nowadays it's just all about the content.
Yes.
And it's about like, so there are some
Everybody want to
people-
go viral.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are some people who maybe go on dates just to get content. Like
Yeah.
just because they're like, oh, I'm gonna, like, I've seen YouTubers and TikTokers who will literally, all of their platform is telling stories of like these guys that they go on dates with. And is it entertaining? Of course. That's why this thing is blowing up, because it's entertaining. But like you said, I think it's not even so much about the detriment to the man, but herself.
Yeah.
Because now
But at
people
what-
are looking at her funny, like, how did you believe that?
But at what cost
Right.
am I willing to go viral? You know,
Yeah.
what about you, the person? I mean,
I think
I'm not here to say what happened or didn't happen to her. I'm just going to go in from a space of needing to heal.
Right.
And so, because I
Good.
put this out there, where am I giving myself that safe place to heal? Because even when I think that I'm moving on, those videos are still out there. And guess what? It's going to pop back up there. And so it's just going to be a constant reliving of that pain. You know, that's my thought on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it just now, and there's a video I watched recently because it was talking about like marketing and social media and like, you know, like why people go viral and things like that. And something the guy had pointed out is if you're not selling a product, you're selling yourself in some way.
And what's
so-
the cost?
At what cost? And I think at the end of the day, it does go back to the person, what they're okay with. But I don't think a lot of us take the time to actually think about our impact 20 years from now. I think the idea of things coming up from the past has only really started happening within the last few years. You know, people pulling up things from 10, 20 years ago. And then
It didn't just start happening. I think it just,
But I
it
think like
really is
in
no
the
more
in the
relevant.
public
now.
consciousness,
yes.
that awareness.
Mhm.
Although, sorry,
No.
Brother Carter did have a comment.
Sure. And Dr. Bark, if you could come to the
Oh,
mic.
sure,
That's
yes.
okay. Okay, go ahead. What was it?
Brother Carter said, don't fall for someone for what they can do for you. And then he followed that up with correction for you think they can do for you.
You know, I like that because it goes back to she thought he was a great guy. They were going to get a house. They were going to do all these things. And what happened? It was all a lie.
And when she was retelling the story, and I think we've all had maybe a toxic relationship where you look back and you're like, man, there was red flags in the beginning. And so when she started from the beginning, she was kind of like saying like, these are all things I should have noticed. So I do think it can be beneficial to maybe someone who's in a similar situation, who maybe is feeling like their partner isn't being like honest with them about things. And you asked how they met. They did meet on a social media site. They met, their first date was like right before COVID. So when COVID happened, he moved in with her.
Oh my.
And they got married within a few months.
Oh wow.
They got married within a few months. They tried to buy a house several times. He never had the credit for it, but he's this VP of this company, drives a BMW, all these things, or whatever kind of car it was.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a good enough credit score to buy a house.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Scary.
Yeah.
Seems fishy to
It
me.
seems fishy to me. Well, okay, then we're gonna move on. She always has some good tea in the streets. I tell you, I love that. It's just it kind of makes you open your head up to kind of see from the younger generation as well as the older what's happening on the street. So I
Yeah.
love the tea in the street.
And of course, this is our last show in Black History Month.
Yes.
So we've been doing a little series called Did You Know?
Mhm.
With just a quick video of just a fact. But this one is actually throwing a lot of facts at you to conclude and kind of wrap up Black History Month. So we'll play that for you really
But
quick.
Black history goes on, and it's unfortunate that we have the shortest month
Yeah.
of the
Right.
year. But
February.
you can always get history. History is always good for us.
History is
So
being made every day.
every
too.
day. Yes. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
If you had to guess, how many enslaved people would you say escaped to the North through the Underground Railroad? While you think about it, here are a few little-known Black history facts. Did you know that the very first successful open heart surgery was performed by a Black man? This happened in 1893, and his name was Daniel H. Williams. If you're from Vermont, show some pride because it was the very first state to abolish slavery. It was also one of the very first states to grant full voting rights to African-American males. Just males, because why the fuck would a woman need a vote, right? You might remember from 3rd grade that George Washington Carver was responsible for developing over 300 new products from the peanut. What you might not know is that these products included ink, soap, medicinal oils, cosmetics, vinegar, and even postage stamp glue. Did you also know that the very first successful treatment for leprosy was created in 1916 by a Black chemist? Her name was Alice Balls. Additionally, a Black woman holds the title for the most decorated gymnast in history. Her name, Simone Biles. And for that question I asked you in the beginning, it is estimated that around 100,000 enslaved peoples escaped to the North via the Underground Railroad.
And just in Abigail's style, she would have those short ribs being cooked while teaching us some history. So that was really good. I like that.
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm glad that we're able to have a platform where we can just drop little tidbits like that. I know we did one about a potato chip. Sometimes it's more like, lighthearted.
It is not even light. I think it's sometimes we take it for granted, some of the simple things but there were major creations that we did. And just thinking about, you made it in a little short clip, but look at all of that history that people probably wouldn't even think that we took care of, but that we invented.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dr. Burke, did you know anything about that?
I didn't know about Daniel H. Williams for the open heart surgery.
Right?
Mhm.
Obviously, I didn't know about the underground, how many people specifically in the Underground Railroad too.
That's unbelievable.
I love how they did it but I was also very distracted
With the food?
with the food.
Abigail
cooking and
Abigail did that. That's always Abigail. It was very good. I like it because
good.
I'm gonna tell you why I like it. I'm like, she's keeping us tuned in. I'm trying to focus on some learning, but she's making me hungry while I'm looking.
That wasn't me cooking.
And that I know it wasn't. You
Okay,
cooking.
I can't cook.
And that's something that I need to go back and find that recipe, see how that
Ended up tasting.
Yes. How did that turn
I
out?
did think about that when I picked that video. I was like, this food does look really good. Kind of distracting. Shouldn't even talk about the food.
Yeah. So that was really good. We're gonna move on down.
We actually